Did you know that 60% of new leaders fail within the first 18 months? Shocking, right? And what's worse, 44% of those leaders fail because they lack key leadership skills. So, what separates great leaders from the rest? It's not just about titles or power, it's about mastering the right skills. In this video, we'll dive into the 6 leadership skills that can make you an exceptional leader. These aren't the typical skills you hear about all the time. We're talking about emotional intelligence, visionary thinking, courageous decision-making, adaptive leadership, transformational communication, and servant leadership. These are the game changers that will set you apart and help you inspire your team to do their best work. Stick around, because mastering these skills will not only boost your career but also create a culture where people love working with you. Ready to unlock your leadership potential? Let's get started. Chapter 1. Emotional Intelligence. The secret weapon emotional intelligence, EQ, is one of the most critical skills every leader should possess. In fact, studies show that 90% of top performers have high EQ, while only 20% of lower performers do. Why? Because understanding and managing emotions is key to creating an environment where people thrive. Leaders with high EQ know how to read the room and adapt to their team's needs, making them more effective communicators. One of the best ways to develop your EQ is by practicing active listening. Leaders who listen attentively, without interrupting, build trust and make their teams feel heard. This isn't just about being polite, it's about gaining insights that help make better decisions. In fact, research by TalentSmart found that EQ is responsible for 58% of job performance. So, if you want to improve your leadership, invest time in honing this skill. Empathy is another cornerstone of EQ. It's the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. When leaders empathize with their teams, they create stronger connections, which increases motivation. You can start by simply putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Doing this will help you resolve conflicts and handle challenges with more sensitivity. It's also essential to manage your own emotions. Leaders who stay calm under pressure set the tone for the whole team. In high-stress situations, take deep breaths and focus on finding solutions rather than reacting impulsively. This emotional control creates a more stable and productive work environment. Lastly, emotional intelligence helps leaders give constructive feedback. Instead of focusing solely on what went wrong, EQ-driven feedback emphasizes improvement and encouragement. This approach boosts morale and keeps the team focused on progress, rather than dwelling on mistakes. Chapter 2. Visionary Thinking. Seeing beyond the horizon. Visionary thinking is the ability to see beyond the present and imagine a better future. It's what sets exceptional leaders apart from the rest. One study found that 75% of employees said they were more motivated when their leaders shared a clear, inspiring vision. This shows how powerful a clear vision can be in igniting passion and purpose within your team. To be a visionary leader, you must embrace curiosity. Ask questions that challenge the status quo, like, what if we could do this differently? Or, how can we create a solution no one else has thought of? By continually seeking new perspectives, you can anticipate trends and avoid being blindsided by unexpected changes. Visionary thinking also requires resilience. Not every idea will be a hit, and not every plan will succeed. But great leaders see failure as a stepping stone to success. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Embrace setbacks and use them as opportunities to learn and improve. Another important strategy is to encourage creativity in your team. When you make space for innovative ideas, you tap into diverse thinking that can lead to breakthrough solutions. One way to foster creativity is by holding brainstorming sessions where every idea is considered, no matter how wild it seems. This can spark new ways of thinking that push the organization forward. Lastly, stay flexible. A vision should be a guiding light, but not a rigid plan. If circumstances change, a great leader will adjust the course while keeping the end goal in mind. It's the ability to pivot without losing sight of your ultimate mission that makes visionary leaders stand out. Chapter 3. Courageous Decision-Making. Leading with confidence. Courageous decision-making is a leadership skill that requires confidence and a willingness to take risks. In fact, a 2023 study by Harvard Business Review found that 68% of leaders believe making bold decisions is the key to business success. However, many leaders hesitate when faced with tough choices. The fear of failure or criticism often leads to indecision, which can hinder progress. One way to overcome this fear is by gathering as much information as possible. Make sure your decision is based on data, not just gut feeling. A study by McKinsey found that companies using data-driven decision-making are 5 times more likely to make faster decisions than their competitors. But remember, data alone doesn't guarantee success. The ability to interpret and act on it quickly is what separates good leaders from great ones. Another strategy for courageous decision-making is to build a culture where mistakes are seen as opportunities to learn. When employees know they won't be punished for making mistakes, they're more likely to take the necessary risks for growth. Leaders should encourage experimentation and reward calculated risk-taking, even if the outcomes aren't always perfect. It's also important to trust your intuition. While data is essential, your gut feeling can sometimes provide valuable insights, especially when quick decisions are needed. Steve Jobs once said, "You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever." Learning to trust your instincts can give you the courage to make bold choices. Finally, communicate your decisions effectively. Once you've made a decision, clearly explain the rationale behind it to your team. Transparency in decision-making builds trust and reduces uncertainty. Leaders who confidently communicate the reasoning behind their choices inspire confidence in others and encourage alignment with the team's goals. Chapter 4. Adaptive Leadership. Thriving in change. In today's fast-paced world, adaptive leadership is a skill every leader must master. Change is constant, and those who fail to adapt can quickly find themselves left behind. According to the Center for Creative Leadership, 70% of organizational change initiatives fail because leaders struggle with adaptability. But leaders who embrace change are better able to navigate uncertainty and keep their teams moving forward. The first step to becoming an adaptive leader is to cultivate a growth mindset. Leaders with a growth mindset believe that abilities and intelligence can be developed. When faced with challenges, they see them as opportunities to learn and improve, rather than obstacles to avoid. Carol Dweck, a psychologist at Stanford University, explains, "The view you adopt for yourself profoundly affects the way you lead your life. One way to practice adaptability is by being open to feedback." Leaders who ask for and listen to feedback can make quick adjustments that improve their effectiveness. In fact, companies with leaders who seek regular feedback have 14.9% higher employee engagement, according to Gallup. Being adaptable also means knowing when to change your approach. Sometimes, sticking to the plan isn't the best choice. Leaders who can assess a situation, pivot, and try something new are often more successful in the long run. For example, when Netflix faced a downturn in DVD rentals, they pivoted to streaming and disrupted the entire entertainment industry. This type of flexibility shows how adaptive leadership can drive major growth. Additionally, adaptive leaders foster a culture of resilience within their teams. When things go wrong, these leaders don't panic. Instead, they focus on finding solutions and encouraging their team to do the same. A resilient team is more likely to embrace change rather than resist it, which leads to better overall performance. Finally, don't forget the power of leading by example. If your team sees you adapting and evolving in the face of challenges, they'll be more likely to follow suit. Be the change you want to see, and your team will thrive. Chapter 5. Transformational Communication. Inspiring action through words. Transformational communication is about more than just talking. It's about inspiring action, motivating your team, and shaping a shared vision through words. According to a study by McKinsey, companies with strong communication practices are 25% more likely to outperform their competitors. This shows that how you communicate as a leader can make all the difference in achieving success. The first strategy for transformational communication is clarity. Being clear and concise in your messaging ensures that your team understands your expectations. In fact, Research by the Project Management Institute found that 56% of projects fail due to unclear communication. So, when you speak, make sure your message is straightforward and easily understood. Another important aspect of communication is storytelling. Leaders who use storytelling can create emotional connections and make their messages more memorable. A great story can illustrate a point, inspire action, and rally your team around a common goal. Steve Jobs was a master storyteller. His keynotes often transformed simple product launches into powerful narratives that excited and motivated his audience. Equally important is the ability to listen. Transformational leaders listen as much as they speak. Active listening shows respect for others' ideas and fosters a culture of open communication. By giving your team a voice, you build trust and encourage collaboration. Feedback is another crucial part of transformational communication. Leaders who provide clear, constructive feedback help their team grow and improve. A study by Zenger and Folkman found that leaders who excel at giving feedback have teams that perform 10 times better than those who don't. But remember, feedback should be timely, specific, and actionable. Finally, great leaders know how to communicate in times of crisis. During stressful moments, your words can either calm or escalate the situation. Leaders who remain composed and speak with confidence can guide their teams through difficult times. As Winston Churchill once said, "Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen." Chapter 6. Servant Leadership. Empowering others to lead. Servant leadership is a leadership style that focuses on empowering others. Unlike traditional leadership, where the leader is at the top, servant leaders put the needs of their team first. Robert K. Greenleaf, the creator of the servant leadership philosophy, once said, "The servant leader is servant first." It begins with the natural feeling that one wants to serve first. One of the core strategies of servant leadership is active listening. A servant leader listens intently to their team's needs and concerns, helping to create a culture of trust and mutual respect. Listening also helps leaders understand the strengths and weaknesses of their team, allowing them to provide better guidance and support. Another key element of servant leadership is empathy. Leaders who genuinely care about their team members' well-being are able to build strong, lasting relationships. Studies show that when leaders show empathy, employee engagement increases by 60%. A servant leader takes the time to understand the personal and professional challenges their team faces and offers help where possible. Servant leaders also focus on the development of their team. Instead of simply giving orders, they invest in the growth of their people. This can be achieved by providing mentorship, offering training opportunities, and giving individuals the autonomy to take on new challenges. By helping team members grow, servant leaders build a more capable and self-sufficient workforce. Delegation is another vital aspect of servant leadership. Great servant leaders empower their team members by entrusting them with responsibilities. This not only boosts confidence but also helps foster a sense of ownership within the team. According to Gallup, employees who feel empowered to make decisions are 12 times more likely to be highly engaged. Lastly, servant leadership focuses on humility. Rather than seeking personal glory, servant leaders celebrate the success of their team. They know that leadership is about service, not self-promotion. By keeping the focus on the team's collective success, servant leaders create a positive work environment that drives long-term success. Don't forget to subscribe for more leadership insights and tips that can help you become the best leader you can be.